Hey, y'all.
You.
Oh,
Yeah, no.
What up, family?
what
What's
up?
good,
What's
family? What's
up?
good?
What's up? How
Ain't
y'all?
nothing. Getting my roll on. About to go out to the hospital. My baby mama get gallbladder taken out.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Pray for
Oh,
that.
yeah, we're going to pray all that goes well.
Well,
Don't pray too hard. I got a policy on it.
let us get started as usual. All right, my name is Kel,
You know, Quintella.
and this is Recipe to
Shiver.
Shiver. Yes,
We
yes.
got our
All right,
boy
we get
John
started. Our boy
on.
John is on here.
Yep.
Oh, y'all didn't
Customary.
hear me, did y'all?
Give us a second. Customary. Let's do a quick prayer, real quick.
Okay. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you for another day. Lord, we thank you for this platform. We ask that it be used to encourage somebody and to help somebody and for us to grow and for everyone to grow with us. Lord, we thank you and we bless your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
Man.
All right. All right. So with that being said,
Today's topic.
as you can see here on the screen, it is demographic differences and how they shape relationships. So this kind of like piggybacks off of last week where we talked about gender roles and how gender norms, or should I say norms, but how society and the way you're brought
Brought
up,
up how all those things kind of coexist
right,
together.
without you even knowing, like you're doing, like we said before, colors associated with certain genders. So this kind of like piggybacks off of that. So demographic differences play a major role in shaping how men and women approach experience relationships. This variation spanning from education, income, age, culture, social expectations helps explain why men and women often have distinct differences on dating, emotional connection, and partnership longevity.
Okay. So we're going to talk about do you want to tackle that first part of it? Or you
Yeah.
want to just talk about, like that? Well, we can kind of get into a little bit of what we read up on as far as shifts in the United States. Go back up a little bit, right there. And much of the developed world, the gender gap in education has reversed. Like right now, there are more women outpacing men in college enrollment and graduation. So their financial independence has grown accordingly. The shift influences relationships,
Okay.
expectations.
I agree with that.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, so now many women now, because they have the education, they prefer a partner with equal or greater education and income. But such men are increasingly rare, especially among the younger generation. Do you agree with that?
To a certain degree, I do. Um, we've spoken about this on prior podcasts. Like we talked about, some women talk about what they bring to the table, or they didn't. Not so much now, but then it was just all I had to bring was me and my good looks to the table, and the man had to bring everything else.
Right.
Where now, as this study just showed, the women are starting to outpace men
Right, and the
in
education.
education and work field. That now they're requiring their partner to be just as financial or educational on the same platform
Mhm.
or more.
And see, I'm about to throw a little monkey wrench in it a little bit.
Okay.
I feel like the problem with women is they're looking at these men as far as, oh, well, I went to college, he should have some college education or whatever. But they forget about the are they considered blue collar when they're working, right?
Blue collar.
men, right? There are fields where they make great money
Mm-hmm.
in those fields, and I think the women look down to a certain extent on men that now their jobs are trades, where I think trades are needed. I think
Trades will always be.
they will always be right. So and there's always good money there.
Mm-hmm.
And I think sometimes they are not, I don't know. They're not thinking. They're just looking at, oh, well, I'm educated, so he needs to be educated too. He needs to have this. He needs to have that. What does that look like? Because that comes in different forms.
Well, it's kind of funny that now we look at it and we see this where something that I think back then and still exists now is men don't function like that. We don't necessarily have to have our partner or someone that we're interested in being on that same leveled playing field.
You never did.
Right.
And
And it still continues now, where now we're showing that things have changed, but now, according to this, the women are demanding more from a partner, regardless. They're saying now that we're here, we make this, we do this.
You
have to be able to match that.
Mm-hmm.
So this can lead to like relationship frustrations
and frustrations,
delayed partnership formation, because you're seeing more and more of this so-called independence where, like I said before, I don't need a man. So meanwhile, men's relative economic decline has affected not only their dating prospects, but also self-esteem and willingness to pursue high-achieving women. Well, some of us anyway.
I gotta say, does that though? I don't think that's for all men.
No,
I don't think every man is afraid of dating a woman that makes more money than them.
Right. Not all, but it does come into that.
Now, I'm sorry, but I think the issue comes into dating a woman like that is
the power struggle.
I got to say, not just the power struggle, her mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can have some women who don't mind it at all, and they'll never make their man feel like less than because she makes more money than them. She still tries to make him feel like a man. She never brings that up. But then you got these other women that, and it might be the type of man they've decided to date. They decided to date somebody that may not have had a job, or the job they had, they knew from the beginning that he wasn't able to pull his weight. So then they become frustrated somewhere within the relationship, forgetting that this was the choice that they made.
Yeah, I can see that. You have something to say on that subject, John?
Do you mind your woman making more money than you?
Hell no, I don't mind. That's the American dream.
So that's the American dream.
But nah. In all reality, far as like men, and I can't speak for all men, but the majority of us, our main thing is provide in our own way, protect, and our bottom line is respect. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I agree with that.
I almost feel to the point where I don't even need a woman to love me, just respect. No matter how much money you make, no matter what it is, you know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. I want you to love me. Don't get me wrong. But like how y'all was saying, like some women that might make more money might feel like they got a control factor. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's why I come to the point of respect. That's the bottom line for me. If you respect me,
most men. I think most men can deal with a relationship that's not that great. There's major issues, but if the respect factor is there, they can go through their daily life dealing with it. They can put up with it
for sure,
as long as you're not disrespecting them.
Right. Don't no man on earth, not that I know of, a real man. Don't no real man want nothing thrown in their face. You know what I mean?
Right.
Period. No matter who you are. You know what I'm saying? Like if we can maintain a respect level for one another, that's all it really boils down to me. You know what I mean? Not everybody, but to me for sure.
Okay.
No matter how much you may weigh.
And I agree with that. So the research from Personality and Social Psychology Bulletin shows that while men claim to be attracted to accomplished women, this attraction tends to wane in real life. So they say they do, but in real life,
dealing with the real life,
it could be an issue according to this study. In real life settings, when those women outperform them, this phenom is linked to perceived threats to traditional gender roles. back to what we were saying before about gender.
And what he said about men, naturally they want to provide,
Right.
they want to be the breadwinner, they want to be the protector.
Right.
But now you have a woman who's taking on one of those,
and you feel like you can't provide
roles, right?
It could feel there could be some kind of threat to their gender role.
Right. They may feel, a little threatened by that.
Of course.
For sure. For sure. But like I said, it also depends on that woman too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's what and that's where it comes in for me. It's let's talk about a little bit about like emotional connection and social behavior. Contrary to cultural stereotypes, recent research suggests that romantic relationships often more emotionally crucial for men than it is for women. I don't know if I agree with them it being more crucial for you. I would think it would be more crucial for women.
Well, it says that the study shows that that 50 studies found that men experience stronger emotional and health benefits from being in a steady relationship, while women tend to have a broader emotional support network outside of romantic partnerships. Do you agree with that? And if that's so, then that's a big role reversal
right.
from what I grew up, and things to be. It's a huge role reversal.
Y'all chime in?
Oh yeah, sure. Your mic is open.
Okay, cool. In my opinion, bro, and if y'all feel different, that's fine. But it's the day and times. And what I mean by that is you got so many males that's in a single parent household, mostly just raised by a woman. You feel me?
True.
Now, back in our time, our parents might not even liked each other, but they understood the big picture. You know what I'm saying? So we had a male influence in our lives. So that's why I think a lot of things have flipped, because now you got males, I ain't gonna say they think like women, but if you raised by a woman, those characteristics do kick in. So that's what I'm talking about as far as like a lot of males now deal off emotion.
I agree.
To me, that comes from that. To me, you know what I mean? It's a factor, big factor.
I agree, because you don't have that male figure there to emulate.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, even if the father is missing out of the household, if you don't have more males around to watch and see, you're going to emulate what you're mostly surrounded by. And we discussed that before. You're going to pick up mannerisms, behaviors, thought patterns, process. Like a thought automatically becomes in your head becomes something that you act upon.
Yeah, for sure.
Influenced by.
Yeah.
So the influence happens first, and then it becomes a thought, and then you act upon it.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay. Well, if we're gonna put it that way, then I could see it.
So women share emotional connections across families, across friendships and family,
which we do.
Women, on the other hand, more frequently initiate breakups and report fewer feelings of loneliness afterward. And it's because, and the fact of it being tied to their wider social network.
And I can agree with that, because we build a community. We build, how can I say it? We set out and we build little communities, little groups. So we always have that, one friend. We got our turn up friend. You got your more sensitive friend. More sensible friend. So I can actually see that, because we have other connections. So we have other people to kind of keep us grounded, especially when we're going through a breakup or when we initiate a breakup. It doesn't hurt us as hard, because we already got another plan or something else on the back end.
And I feel like this leads further to what I said before, is when you look at marriages and the breakup of a marriage, it's typically the women that initiate that, because it's almost presented to them to be more beneficial to do so. Well, we talked about before, we just talked about men willing to stay in that relationship regardless that out of respect factor is still there. They can deal with that.
Right.
But the women on some of these things you see initiate it because it's more beneficial to them to walk away. And again, that factor of independence, I think, kicks in where I assume that the pool is so vast that I can find somebody way better because there's this huge pool for them to pull from. When some of these statistics say that those men that y'all are searching for, there's not that many of them out there with a high-paying job, emotionally, no, emotions in check, and all that good stuff, all willing to be okay with the woman making more and not feel threatened in his masculinity, right? John, if you can hear me, I just got you on mute for right now. The wind is coming through real quick on your mic.
Okay.
Whenever you want to chime in, just give me a thumbs up or something. We're watching. But we are far more likely to reject, especially liberal ones, we're far more likely to reject potential partners based on political differences, such as support. This politicalization of dating underscores how social identity now intertwines with gender expectation, like gender roles and relationships, like we said before. Dynamics of traditional gender roles continue to color modern relationships.
Right.
So let's go to here.
Where he was talking about protecting men feel pressure.
Yes, that right.
Okay.
There.
So I will agree with that. With men feel pressured to lead or protect and may struggle with vulnerability, and a woman who are expected to caretake may struggle with boundaries.
Yeah, these patterns can cause emotional imbalance and dissatisfaction in relationships because I think we brought that up before where someone asked to bring up, I guess we lost him, yes, but where they talked about the traditional housewife and they didn't want to be the stay-at-home mom anymore, and that's kind of like belittling to them to say that's all they can do. And that's not they're saying that was all they can do, but just trying to stick them in that box, in that role.
In that one role.
And that one role was unfair.
And I think part of the reasoning why they didn't want to be put into that role was because they felt like there wasn't given their props, like how hard it is to be a stay-at-home mom, what it takes to do that. You know, that's a role where you're never paid for it. It's always continuing, you know, and they feel like, oh, well, you've been home all day, what you been doing? Them kids are nonstop. Right. You know, everything that you need is nonstop. Then you come home, let's say your husband, and then he needs attention. So you're constantly putting out all of this attention and all of this energy to all of these people and all of these things, and you never really give yourself anything. So I think that's just basically the reasoning behind, not so much as, oh, I don't want to just be put in this box. But I think it also came down to not being recognized for how hard it is being a stay-at-home mom. Because, you know, yeah, I can go out here and make all the money in the world, but being at home, I can't, what money am I making? But that doesn't mean that what I'm doing isn't just as important or not as difficult. Well, so I think that's where a lot of that came in at, not getting the recognition on what it takes to stay at home and to raise children and then run a household.
So with that being said, now I think times have changed so much. Like one of the statements you just made was, what kind of money can I make at home? where making money at home is
It's possible
the
now.
big trend now.
Right.
A lot of people are doing that, so it's possible,
Right.
very possible, to stay at home and be a stay-at-home mom or dad, whichever role you choose, and make plenty of money. But younger people now, this generation, should I say, tend to hold more egalitarian attitudes toward gender roles. The older cohorts are more likely to endorse traditional stereotypes, while younger people are more accepting of flexible roles in which both partners contribute
Right.
equally to the household, whether that's financial, emotional, responsibilities. However, cultural backgrounds and family size tend to influence their beliefs.
Okay, well, they were saying younger generations. I think our generation too. I look at me and you. In the beginning, yes, it was like, okay, this is your role and this is my role. But I think as we've grown together, as we've built this family and built our, our relationship or whatever, we've went through things, because I think a lot of issues now, or a lot of problems now with younger marriages, is nobody want to go through anything. The minute it gets hard, everybody want to leave. But I think because we've went through certain things within the marriage, we've learned that, okay, there has to be give and take, that the roles will switch up from time to time, and that we'll have to support each other within those roles.
So what you just said, right, as far as not just, I don't think it's so much the not willing to go through anything, it's the repeated battle of going through the same thing. So like you said, when it came to us going through our whatever we went through, we were able to sit down and discuss how each other felt, get the views from each other, and change some things.
Right, but then
so we don't have to go through it again. But if I didn't not just hear you about being stuck at home constantly, feeling, overwhelmed with that job does not end. The kids are here. You're taking care of them and preparing food for them. And then when I come home, you're doing the same for me. And it's like, it never stops for you. And if I wasn't willing to stop, listen, without taking offense, hear, accept it, understand my shortcomings when it came to that, and willing to change
and that's what I was
and
going to
adapt to that,
right,
then that's different. Because if I hadn't did that, one, you keep repeating feeling like that.
right,
Who's to say we'd be together if you kept going through that?
right.
So I think that's the thing with the newer generation is not that they're not willing to go through anything,
But they're not listening either.
they're not listening,
They're not listening.
and they're not taking the time out to
adapt, because it's like, okay, well, this is my way and this is how I am. You
And that's
either
it.
do it and that's it. And that's definitely the wrong attitude to have if marriage is something that you're pursuing, especially for longevity. Because it'll never happen if it's always your way. It's never going to be your way. Sometimes it's not either going to be either one of your ways. You're going to have to find a different avenue completely that works for the both of y'all or for the children. So if there are children involved,
it could. I can see
y'all
that.
excuse me, I am not feeling well. My grandson got me, y'all. He got me. Like, my head is hurting, my eyes are watery. Look, yes, I'm like,
So family size still influences our belief. Because I think if you come from, like we said before, an extended family,
a bigger family.
an extended family, you get to see a bunch of roles and how they intertwine, and like you said, how they change.
Right.
Because you can see where, let's say your mom is a stay-at-home mom, right? But she has an extended family where the grandmother, grandfather may be there, aunts, uncles, or whoever. So her role of being the caretaker at home shifts a little bit, because when she's bogged down, tired, sometimes grandma step in.
Right.
Take the kids, take them out, take them here and there, and okay, we're going up here and do something.
That's that village.
They can get a break.
Right.
Or the uncle steps in. Hey, I'm gonna take them with, so you get to see a bunch of roles and how they play, and also how they interact, and at some points how the roles switch.
Yeah. And intertwine.
Because then dad, he might come home, and uncle's like, "Hey, I was about to take such and such here and there. Okay, I'm gonna go with y'all." Right. And they all take them out, and then mom gets to sit at home and relax kumbaya, and chill. So sometimes that can play a role. People from larger or more traditional families tend to hold more stereotypical views. And I do agree with that. And the reason why I say that is because when you see the larger family and the traditional style like we do, it does condition you to take on those beliefs of this is how things should be. And like I said before, like growing up, you saw a mom at home, dad at work. This mentally says this is how things should be. And that's from a traditional standpoint, right? So in some relationships, women are more educated, independent, and selective, prioritizing capability over convention. And men still derive much of their emotional fulfillment from romantic relationships and may struggle with the decline in traditional provider roles, which we spoke on earlier. And we both agree with that. I think that is a big struggle with men in their role, that they are the man of the house, but financially they're not.
They're not, right. And they struggle with that part of it.
They struggle with that part of it.
Especially if they see the woman, or if they actually have to depend on this woman for any kind of support.
Yeah, like even when it comes to the kids, and the kids are like, well, I'm not going to ask him for anything.
He ain't got it. Right. I'm going straight to mom. Right.
And that can make him feel some kind of way. They're not respected.
Yeah, I'm not even getting respect for my own children.
Right. So there's that respect factor again that we talked about. So political and social values now interact strongly with gender expectations. And we spoke on this earlier because social media is such at an all-time high with our capabilities, with how fast things are growing, and everything you see, do, and hear can be seen and done via social media. So it does play a big role on how it interacts with gender expectations, because now we're growing up in those traditional houses like we've seen before. It was what you've seen in your own personal environment. Now you're looking at social media like, oh no, well, you might like that,
right?
And that influence, like, no,
or that's how I want to try that because I never thought about that. Right. So now it entices you, and now you're like, okay, I'm stepping outside of what the norm is for me, or what I grew up with, or my traditions, or whatever, because now I'm being influenced by these outside vices.
Like one of the big things you see now that's trending is everybody's getting into these poly relationships, and people are seeing it like, oh yeah, it makes all the sense in the world. And
everybody like, oh, it makes all the sense in the world. But let's be for real. And I'm glad you brought that up. As men and women, the way we were created, let's just go back to even as children. You have a toy, I got a toy. You try to take my toy, what I'm gonna do?
Yeah, you want to fight for it.
You want to fight for it. It's a natural instinct. What's mine is mine, and don't you put your hands on it. So, and for this, oh, well, okay, that's all sounds good. Because for me, it's okay, there's something else behind it, but I'm neither here nor there. That's just my little.
Maybe that's another podcast we get into.
Maybe, yeah.
Poly pros and cons. But yeah, you start to see that, and I think it's picking up speed and it's picking up traction
Problems.
because it's something that's more seen
Seeing now.
social media, and they ooh. Now, people always want to tend to play with the shiny new toy.
Right. Always. It's always cool until it ain't anymore.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you want to be loved for who you are, and yeah.
So evolving gender norms continue to redefine what intimacy, quality, and connection mean across demographics. And that is true. Something that you yourself may want to be more aware of how you yourself or your partner defines the terms and where they get the definition from.
Right. And I think there's always, like we always say, there needs to be open dialogue. Like when you're first getting into those relationships, like what is expected? How do you feel about, these roles may be changing? Yes, I expect my husband to do all that, take care of me, X, Y, and Z. But what if he gets sick? What if something happens and now you have to step up and you have to do that? And then you find out, you know what, I actually enjoy this and I'm good at it. And I start to make good money. So then now what happens? Do you look down on him and say, okay, well, ooh, you ain't doing this no more, you've been hurt? Or do you say, you know what, when I didn't have, he did for me, now I'm gonna take care of him and I'm gonna make sure he's straight and I'm gonna do the best I can to keep us afloat until he's doing okay. Now, nobody wants anybody that is not motivated and they're just not trying at all. I think where a lot of that does come into play sometimes, where people get into relationships or things happen and you just have lazy people. I'm not going to do it. I mean, you doing it all just so you just do it. Because fine, you want to sit at home, make sure the house clean. I think that becomes a lot of it too for women. Fine, you're going to be at home, but make sure the house is clean, make sure the dinner is straight. Because if I was working and then came home and have to do these things and you were working as a man, these are the things that you would expect. And here it is, you're not working and, clothes are piling up and the house is dirty. That can become frustrating.
Oh yeah, because gender norms still associate with masculinity.
Right. He don't feel like he's supposed
to.
Right. He don't think he's supposed to do it. Oh, because, that's a woman's job. I ain't washing no clothes. Well, you ain't working, so wash the clothes. You know what I mean?
But those assumptions can sometimes constrain both partners. Men who feel pressured, like you said, to be those strong leading, and the women to be those nurturing types. Those pressures can definitely, start to weigh heavy on the relationship.
Most definitely.
Because you've been, I don't want to say institutionalized, but you've been conditioned to have your world view that way.
Mm-hmm.
And now in your relationship, a relationship is super intimate.
It is.
So it gets deep into who you are,
right,
and what your beliefs are. And now your beliefs are starting to be not questioned, but for lack of better words, the opposite of how you believe things should be.
They shift.
You're now in a relationship where things want to shift and change.
Right.
And change sometimes is very uncomfortable.
Change is very uncomfortable. I think we're in a new stage of that right now.
Absolutely.
We're nearing, retirement. We keep playing around with it, but what does that look like? How do you function within that?
Because I want to sit at home and do nothing.
And he don't want to do nothing, and doing nothing
just
doesn't work for me. And see, like right now, like we're trying to figure that out because he won't come home. He won't just be home all day sleeping, and I don't. For me, retirement is not about sleeping it all away. It's about experiences. It's about me doing things. It's about me trying everything that I couldn't do while I'm working. So it's us trying to figure out how do we maneuver that. But we don't say, oh, okay, no, we got to sit down and we got to actually figure that out because he is definitely y'all and his old man. I ain't moving thingy, and I'm a young tenderoni, and that just ain't gonna work for me.
Oh, no, here we go. But so what I said was she talking to mess with my old man. He
just said it, y'all. Didn't he?
No,
just
I did.
Said he didn't want to do nothing but be at home all day and do nothing. What old people do?
So
sit at home on the porch and
I
don't
can't
do
get a word
nothing.
in. I can't get a word.
No, okay, but go ahead.
For me, yes, I do want to come home and relax. I've been doing this grind forever.
Okay, but you act
can
like
I finish talking?
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
So I've been doing this grind forever. So yeah, the minute I feel, oh, I'm close to where I can hang my gloves up. I don't want to fight anymore. Yeah, I do want to take a sit back and see what it feels like to lay back and be like, I don't want to move. Don't move. Don't say I'll be like that. Me personally, I'll never be like that every day. No, because it will get boring to me too. I do like going out. I do like doing some other thing. I do like being a little adventurous. But at the same time too, I do want to know what it is to sit back and be like, hey, guess what? I don't have to do anything. If I don't want to, if I just want to sit here today and do nothing, that's exactly what I can do. You know, because we talked about extended families, right? And this is my belief personally. This is just how I operate. If I consider you family, and if you are family, and you don't have a place to stay, if I got
excuse me,
a roof and 4 walls, that's it, then you have a place to stay. It may not be comfortable because you might have to sleep on the floor. You might have to sleep in the corner. You might even have to fight for that blanket. But you won't have to worry about getting rained on. And I used to see some people do the same thing and not take advantage of it. You know what I mean? Like you have the opportunity to build and not take advantage of that. And now I started thinking about it. I was like, I kind of get it. When the minute you got to mentally break yourself out of it that you don't get lackadaisical or too comfortable. But I get it. The minute, especially if you're one of those who's been grinding forever and a day, that's all you know. The minute you get a chance to woo side, it's something that you never experienced before. And you're like, wow, this might be okay. And when I have to get up and grind, I know what that's like. I get up and grind. And then when I come back and woo side again, I'll woo side again. Now go ahead.
I was gonna say, excuse me, I really feel him. He acts like he the only one that just been grinding his whole life. Like
that's not what I said.
And I'm just saying what I heard. And I understand what he's saying. And yes, he worked crazy jobs or whatever, crazy hours. I've done them 12-hour shifts too after having a brand new baby and have to drive an hour to work after having a baby and, going through postpartum and have to do 12 hours and all of that stuff too. And yes, fine. We can have a day during a week or maybe even 2 days, but sitting at home a whole week doing nothing for me. I just feel like I'm here to be productive. I want to be productive. I want to be active. I wasn't made to just not do anything, and it's not in me to just sit around and not do anything, especially if there's things that can be done that I probably wasn't able to do because I was working all the time. And now maybe, okay, now I can take some time and I can get them done. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe we're saying the same thing and I'm just seeing his a little different from mine of what that looks like from day to day. But, I hear him. But if he don't want to go that day, I'm out. He just be at home that day by himself.
And there's nothing wrong with that. I champion that all day long. Go. Bye. I'm good. Right. I'm not doing nothing
See, and I think that's a great thing. That's just where we at. You know, how some people like, oh, so you going without me? What you doing? I ain't doing. I'm out here. You know where I'm at. I'm telling you where I'm going. So
So again, I think we definitely say the same things. She just
mine's just
wanted
fine.
to reiterate how she definitely can't do whatever that was, but you know,
No, not whatever it was. Say what it was.
because I said it was the same thing. I said I can definitely sit back, but I'm not going to always sit back. I mean, like now, there's things in my life that I have become a part of and joined that I said I would never do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'm up and out and gone
Mm-hmm.
and doing these things, and so it just shows that's not my character. I will do something, but I do enjoy sitting at home, my feet kicked up, not having to move either. So I understand when I see older people, like I know I'm kind of rambling, but when I first started working at the job I'm at now, um, I used to get to work like an hour early. It was just something that's the way I am now. I don't like to go to work and dive straight in. I like to get there, get my mind wrapped around what's getting ready to go on, prepare myself for what I'm about to be engaged in. And on the way to work, there was what is it, Hardee's?
It's Hardee's and it's Burger King.
I think it's Hardee's, not Burger King, but it's Hardee's. On the way to work, McDonald's and Hardee's, and there was this place called the Produce Center. Great place to eat if you ever in this area, Petersburg. Those would be the only places open at that time of morning when I would go to work. And sometimes I would swing by there and I look, and it was this table of all these older gentlemen, 60, look like they in the 60s, 70s, somewhere around that group, maybe a little older. Excuse me. And they were there every morning. So one morning I stopped in there early and I stopped and I sat back and I watched them. And I watched them talk, ear hustling their conversation. And they really didn't know each other except for Hardee's. And that was their spot where they all came, sit down, have a cup of coffee. They might eat a sausage biscuit, chicken biscuit, or whatever it may be for breakfast. Entertain themselves, talking with the other gentlemen there, talking about the golden days, stay for a couple hours, and go home. And I was like, man, they do that every morning. Okay. Now I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool because they probably were used to grinding, like I was trying to say. But instead of grinding now, they get to do something that's more enjoyable. They get up and socialize with other men, like-minded men that were probably grinding too, and now looking at each other like we've made it to a point where we don't have to grind like that anymore. I can sit here and now enjoy the fruits of my labor and move when I get ready to move. Not because I have to, because I want to. And that's the stage I'm at. Not that I'm gonna sit back and relax forever. I move because I want to, not because I have to. And that was a beautiful thing for me to sit back and watch these guys. Sit back and enjoy their life now. Because I was talking to a gentleman the other day and I was like, now I've gotten to the point where I'm realizing the concept of money isn't everything. Not that I haven't realized it before, but I'm talking about now. I'm enjoying so much time with my grandson now. Like he comes over every weekend, and we don't do a whole lot, but that'll change because he's used to some things that my kids joke and laugh at us now that they didn't get to do. But I'm getting to a point in my life where I don't have to grind like that, so I can spend more time with him. I can do the little things that I wish I could have done with them because I was on this grind. I'm missing out on the games, missing out on socialization, missing out on some of their growing times. Now I get to watch this young man grow, and he's watching me. So it might be those traditional norms that he's get of how a man should be. So I'm sitting back watching him, and I'm enjoying that I get to spend time with him on my accord, the way I want to, when I want to.
Mm-hmm.
And not, I can only spend time with them when they allow me to. And when I say they, I mean the job. So That's where I am.
Okay.
Hold on. Give myself a pat on the back. But
I don't. I'm sorry.
so she's not feeling too well. So unfortunately, I gotta get her out of here. She got some soup that she made. So hopefully that'll help her something. I'm gonna get her in the bed. Get her lay down. Take it easy before. Well, I don't know if she's gonna go or not, but we'll figure that out. In the meanwhile, you guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Being a part of this family. Coming on. Please, I implore you guys to reach out and give us some more topics. If you feel like our topics are starting to overlap, do you want to get into something like a poly or whatever you want to get into topics?
Whatever y'all
we'll talk about it.
I keep telling y'all.
I'll give you our perspective.
Bring it. We got you.
And we'll definitely discuss it. All right.
I'm Marcella.
And I'm Kel.
And this has been another
episode of Recipe to Chivalry. Thank you guys. Good night. Thank you for coming on. Love you.